Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word today. This is John 18, verse 28. Then led they Jesus from Caiaphas to the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went out not unto the judgment hall, lest they could still be defiled, but that they may eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them and said, What accusation bring you against this man? They answered and said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto thee. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye him and judge him according to law. And the Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again, and called Jesus, and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews? And Jesus answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? And Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of the world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. And Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? And Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. And Pilate said unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, I find in him fault at all, but ye have a custom that I should release unto one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber and a murderer. Barabbas means of the father, but of whose father? Satan's, Barabbas' father. Now this is John chapter 19, and the crowd was full of Kenites at that time. For the 400 years of Jesus, the Kenites went to Jerusalem to help the priests chop wood. They started out chopping wood and then hauling water so the priests could have their ritual baths before they preached. So, and then they became the scribes. The priests were so lazy that they became the scribes. They started out, though, chopping wood. Now this is John chapter 19. Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, put him on a purple robe, and he said, Hail, King of the Jews! And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again, and saith unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. Then came Jesus forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate said unto them, Behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him! Crucify him! And Pilate saith unto them, Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. And the Jews answered him, We have a law, and by our own law we ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was more the afraid, and went again into the judgment hall, and said unto the Jesus, Whence art thou? But Jesus gave him no answer. Then saith Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have the power to crucify thee, and the power to release thee? And Jesus answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. And from thenceforth Pilate sought to release him. But the Jews cried out, saying, If you let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend. Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Jesus forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the Pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabbatha, and it was the preparation of the Passover about the 6th hour. And he saith unto the Jews, Behold your king. But they cried out, Away with him! Away with him! Crucify him! And Pilate saith unto them, Shall I crucify your king? And the chief priest answered and said, We have no king but Caesar. Then deliver he him therefore unto them to be crucified. They took Jesus and led him away. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and 2 other with him, on either side one, and Jesus in the midst. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross. And the writing was, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. This title then read many of the Jews, for the place where Jesus was crucified was nigh to the city. And it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. Then said the chief priest to Pilate, Write not the King of the Jews, but that he said, I am King of the Jews. Pilate answered, What I have written, I have written. Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his garments and made 4 parts, to every soldier a part, and also his coat. Now the coat was without seam, woven from the top throughout. They said therefore among themselves, Let us not rend it, but cast lots for it, whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which saith, They parted my raiment among them, and for my vesture they did cast lots. These things therefore the soldiers did. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and disciples standing by, whom he loved, John the Divine, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. But if you read in the traditions of Glastonbury, Mother Mary went to Glastonbury, England, with Joseph of Arimathea, where Joseph of Arimathea was a tin man of Glastonbury, England. He owned tin mines there in Glastonbury, southern England, where my family comes from, Stonehenge, southern England. And he found manuscripts, and he found journals with Jesus, Mother Mary, and Joseph Arimathea's name in the ship's manifest, showing that they came to Glastonbury, England, several occasions, because their names are on the ship's manifest. So Jesus came to Glastonbury, England on more than one occasion, and he built a house there for Mother Mary. So Mother Mary ended up in Glastonbury, England. She didn't go with John the Divine. John the Divine went over to Greece and was exiled to the island of Patmos, Greece, where he wrote the Gospel of John, the 3 epistles of John, and Revelation in Chaldean. John the Divine used a lot of symbolism whenever he wrote, and so you got to know what the symbols mean